It has been said that about 70% of Nigeria's population is made up of people that are referred to as youth. And ignoring that critical segment of the population will be taking a very big risk. And so it's always important to pay attention to what concerns the development of the youth. Perhaps that's one of the things that we'll be considering as we get into this special interview. And our guest is someone who should be informed about what's going on. He is the Commissioner for Information from Ebonyi State, Uchenna Orji. Thank you so much for sparing your time again with us on special interview. But let's begin with one of the things that is of great concern to the people of your region, and that is the effort being made by the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra to get attention. And one of their strategy now is to say that every Monday people should stay at home and not come out for their businesses. They've tried it with different results here and there. And it seems, well, let me find out from you, what exactly is your perception about that approach by IPOB?
Well, I'm not aware that there is such an order from IPOB. I would say that, as it were, the agitations have been issue of marginalization, issue of having fair treatment to Southeast. And governments of the Southeast have severally engaged them to see how we can do all of these things peacefully, to see how we can constructively engage all the necessary authorities to have Southeast fairly treated. But I give it to them that before this administration came on board, especially in the Fourth Republic, and of course Third Republic, the Southeast was not fairly treated. And I think that
before we go on, the issue I'm actually referring to is a sit-at-home order by IPOB, which took place in many parts of the Southeast last week, and you say you're not aware of it.
I was going to tell you that there are conflicts in that order. Okay. Some are saying sit-at-home order has been suspended. Some are saying it's to go on. What is important is that we, as government, do consider that there are no two governments, whether at the federal level or the state level. And so government does not support any contrary order from organizations and individuals. People should exercise their right to go about their normal business. It's only government that has such authority to direct in the interests of the safety, the interests of the security, the interests of the health of the people, for them not to go about their business. Any other person doing that will be doing something that is unauthorized. But I must say that in Ebonyi State, we have said it often on that people are free to go about their normal business. They're also free to stay in your house, lock yourself up. But what is important is that we need to address those agitations, those burning issues that really did cause this agitation. That is the issue of marginalization, the issue of addressing the cause of the youths, ensuring that the youths are brought to the mainstream of national and state politics. And I can say that the majority of the people, going about in the street, propagating all of these agitation issues are more of the youths who have got nothing to do. So what do? We need to really bring them on board and resolve with them that we have to do something better to better their lots.
Okay, before we move away from this, some people had argued that the sit-at-home approach was what IPOB considered as the last option, since people coming out to protest on the streets has also been condemned and rejected by some level of authority. Now, do you think that it is a healthy democracy where the right of the citizens to even protest is denied of them completely?
Yeah, I can say that in our democracy, the rights of the citizens are guaranteed under the Constitution. Right to protest, but in protest, you have to play by the rule. The rule of the game is that you have to do that peacefully. And if it's going to be an assembly, it has to be through the authorization of necessary authorities. And where you couldn't get this, then you are already infringing on the right of other people, because you are using the same street that they are using. So, but what is important, like I keep saying, is that we need to appreciate that two wrongs cannot make any right. When we say people should sit in the house, there should be no business going on, no food. Then we're talking about hunger, we're talking about joblessness. Those that have something to do, you are saying they should not go ahead to do it. And I can tell you that if you continue to observe all of those orders, it is going to trigger a lot of hardship on the people. Hardship in the sense that economically, the situation will be worse, and even socially, the situation will be worse because you have cases of killings and counter killings. And let me say authoritatively that some of these people who are using the name IPOP, some of them are not actually working for IPOP. They are actually working to destroy the society. Some of them will go out of their way to kill, to maim, to destroy, to burn houses, to destroy public facilities. Is it what is agitation? That is not agitation. I know in the time of Ojukwu, we had Biafra agitation. There was no issue of burning of people's property. So for us, this is disastrous. This is satanic to be destroying people's property. But I want to say that some who are saying that we are being marginalized are correct after all. But we need to engage everybody to understand that we need to play by the rules.
Okay, the issue of marginalization has always been a topic that people discuss, but sometimes the question is who exactly is marginalizing who? Because when you look through the issue of marginalization, you ask what exactly are we talking about? Because in Nigeria, every state has equal representation in the National Assembly, in the Senate in particular, and every state is governed by someone that the people by themselves voted for. So where is the marginalization? Is it just about appointments? So where exactly is the marginalization?
When there is supposed to be even development across board and it's not happening in Southeast. When our office holders should be able to really ensure they attract projects to the Southeast and it's not happening. When we have critical facilities that should be evenly distributed and it is not happening, then it goes to the issue of marginalization. When there are necessarily very vital positions that must go around as a matter of equity, and it is not coming, it goes to the issue of marginalization. But what is important is that we must know that we ourselves are marginalizing Southeast. Yes, I say it because we've had some people occupying exalted positions in the past, such as Senate President for many years, and even in their various villages, nothing to show. So the marginalization started with us. But we need to really think twice and really try to know where we're getting it wrong. Okay. And I think that the leaders of today in the Southeast are making frantic effort to have a very wonderful engagement process that will trigger negotiation and that will trigger fair treatment to Southeast. And accountability is one of them, having to do with you using your opportunity, the opportunity you have as a leader, as a governor, to develop your area. And that is what we are gradually seeing in some parts of Southeast. Ebonyi State, as an instance, is a place you need to come and see. That a place that used to be the dust of the nation is now the salt of the nation. That is to say that if you have this kind of person at a national level, he will be able to do or replicate what he did while on board as governor of Ebonyi State.
Okay. Well, while explaining the marginalization from your perspective, you raised a very salient point that sometimes people marginalize themselves, without necessarily being, suffering from the other people. But one of the things that those who push the idea of marginalization raise is the presidency. They say that it is the turn of the Southeast to produce the next president by 2023. But people that are against that view, or people that have different view from that, say that the Southeast themselves are not even prepared, that they have not built necessary bridges. Instead, they have built walls which will separate them from other parts of the country. What's your reaction to this?
Yeah, like I did say in my remarks, I said that certain essential offices ought to go around. The presidency is one of them. But I also want to concede to you that at this point that we are asking that we needed to be treated fairly, we need to open up the bridges, the linking bridges, instead of building walls. That is why we are going around through advocacies to tell our people that the best thing is not to take arms, the best thing is not to fight, to castigate the Mr. President, or to go into verbal attacks, fake news, those things that will divide us. We don't need to emphasize those things that will divide us. We need to emphasize those things that will unite us. That way we will say that we are prepared, really prepared. But that does not mean that in a pluralist society that people are not free to air their view or to have divergent view or to disagree in order to agree. But what is important is a responsible disagreement that will bring about a responsible agreement. And I think that we have such people in the Southeast who have the capacity, who have the ingenuity, who have that kind of, who are the bridge builders, who can link up accordingly and effectively, who believe in one Nigeria that we can trust, that position those essential positions at the national level. And you know that actually the Southeast is actually gifted. It's actually good to try all parts of the country so that we know from any part where God can deliver us from this situation that we have found ourselves, a situation of insecurity, economic recession, and all of this tribalism. It could be that in any particular zone that one day somebody from there will emerge and get it right. After all, we are beginning to see from their track records, from their achievements, that if you give them better and greater opportunities, they are going to really do better than what we are seeing among leaders of today.
Okay, let me take you back to something that happened some months back when your governor left his party, the PDP, the party that he contested the first election, won, and re-elected on the platform of that same party. A lot of people were disappointed, and they began to think that perhaps the man is eyeing the presidency. Now that we're talking about Igbo presidency ahead of 2023, is that part of the strategy to leave PDP to try his hands in APC?
Let me first of all say that the so-called disappointment by the people is ill-conceived. This is because the governor came under the platform of a party that was at the center when he contested the first time. And because of integrity issues and the need for him to show that he can even do it even as an independent candidate, he went on to continue to develop Ebonyi State under that opposition party, as it were, that is PDP. And again, in the second tenure, he contested under that opposition party, just to show that with or without political party, that he can get the mandate of the people. But when he became governor for the second time, ordinarily has no stake at all. He has got no stake. Nothing is going to happen. But he feels that as chairman of Southeast Governors Forum, and as a governor that people are looking up to make a difference, that he needs to really take the bull by the horn by getting to make Southeast to know that we have a particular political culture. And that culture is that we have always mainstreamed with the party at the center. I don't have to bore you with the history of our national development. Pre-independence, you see the role of Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe. He never worked in opposition with the party at the center. Even in the First Republic, of course, when he was the head of government, head of state. Even in the Second Republic under the NPN and NPP, Southeast always mainstream. That was why a Southeasterner was the vice president. In 1999, the entire Southeast, I think with the exclusion of Anambra, went and supported PDP all throughout almost for 16 years. And yet PDP never gave them an opportunity to produce the president for complete 16 years. So these are the justification issues why the governor defected to APC. So he defected to launch us back to the mainstream of national politics.
He defected to APC to try his hands at the presidency.
That is not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I said he wants to launch Southeast back to our rightful place, and that is belonging to the party at the center, where it has its inherent advantages. If you are negotiating for president as a zone, he must first of all start with the right party. If you are with the wrong party, you are going to fare woefully. So he has justified that. And I want to say that he even said that he could even be what he called an scapegoat in the circumstance. That is a sacrificial lamb. so that our people can be at the right place. But what is important is that democracy is all about what the people say, people having their way. If the people decide that having performed outstandingly as a governor for 8 years, that he should come and replicate what he did in Ebonyi in the whole Nigeria. Who are you? Who am I to stop it?
In other
And
words,
even if
in
you
other
don't
words,
venture to stop it, to say he's not agreeing with time,
Mr.
okay, you
Orji,
must agree.
Mr. Orji, in other words, your governor left the PDP to APC for an opportunity to vie for the presidency.
That is not true.
Okay.
The
We
truth of the
move on.
matter is that he went to launch Southeast into the mainstream of national politics.
We will move
such
on.
that when Southeast is talking about presidency, we should be saying we have all it takes. We have got the platform. We have got the bridge that you are talking about. That is linking with the North, with the majority of the states. So what is preventing John from being baptized?
Okay,
That is just the crux of the matter.
We will keep watching and keep observing things as it develop. And 2023 is not too far away from now. But we'll watch all of that and be able to give a final verdict at the end of the day. But let's move on to some other issues that are more current now, and that is the issue of youth development. Nigeria is blessed with a youth population, and many people believe that an attempt to address those people, that critical sector, the youth, will solve a lot of problems that we are confronted with in Nigeria. Do you agree with this opinion?
That is actually a priority policy in the blueprint that the governor developed in 2015. That is to ensure that the youths are brought on board in the mainstream of Ebonyi State politics. Let me say that the governor developed youth empowerment programs just to ensure that the youths are carried along. The governor of Ebonyi State, His Excellency Chief David Nwezumahi, believes that a nation, a state cannot develop without the youth being developed. That is why he had to roll out a lot of empowerment programs for the youths. And I can say that the first port of call is the appointment of youths into the governance at all levels, both at the local government level, even policy commission, and even executive council. Have 80%, more than 80% of the youths in the executive council. And that has made a difference because they have the agility, they have the stamina, they have also the temerity and audacity to begin to help day and night to ensure the development of their place. They have the ingenuity, they have the creativity, as it were, as far as the society is concerned, to drive the governance process, to its logical conclusion. And the governor has continued by, ensuring what he called mentorship of our youths. And so he had to appoint no less than 4,000 number senior technical assistants, and executive assistants. And they are meant to understudy the governor, the government processes, so that tomorrow we are going to have future leaders. Who are these future leaders? They are the youths of today. And so the governor did not only stop at that, the governor did not stop at that. What else did he do? He had to roll out further programs, including NSAS empowerment program. But before that program came, he had to engage them into what is called a summit, 7-day summit, to know exactly what they want beyond the program that he has initiated. And they came out with a communique saying, look at where and where they want to be captured, they want to be factored. One of them is in the creative industry. And that is why he has aggressively continued to pursue the development of the environment. Today we have a very wonderful environment in Ebonyi State. Today we have not less than 13 number of flyovers, beautifully adorned flyovers. You can even stay there and have your, drama or whatever. And again, we have what is called wonderful roundabouts with fountains, beautifully adorned.
This is about the environment in
Yes,
Ebonyi.
these are the environment that will create a make for creative industry in Ebonyi State.
Okay, now, you said that the governor appointed young people into the state executive, and that status quo, I don't know how many they are, but if there are so many, they will be very minute to compare to the the larger population of the youth of Ebonyi State. I am interested in finding out what the state is doing and perhaps other parts of the Southeast, because that is where those young people are the people that join IPOB and other groups that may be worrisome to this state and the government generally. What is the government doing to make sure that those people are productively engaged to dry up that pool of raw materials, quote unquote, being utilized by the people on the other side that want to engage in other activities that are inimical to the environment?
Yeah,
to the
very
state?
correct. The governor declared the recruitment of 5,000 number people in civil service, and is targeting the youth of not more than 35 years of age, young men and women. 2,000 number at the local government level, 3,000 number at the state level. A committee was just set up on the 13th day of August 2021 to really ensure that a template is created for each of the local government, so that there will be equitable distribution of the opportunity. And then beyond this, I told you about the NSAS program, where the governor rolled out 3 billion naira. Actually, his target is for the people who were once IPOP, people who were in the bush, people who have been idle, doing one or two things that are not helping the community. And the idea is that if they can come up with a good business plan, then they will be giving grants. I can tell you that last week, the governor rolled out 5 million per person for about 20 persons and gave them free of charge. And they are being followed up by the bank, the financial institution that is giving them the money free of charge. Government is paying. The idea is that in this first phase, if they're able to perform very well, more people will be brought on board under the second phase. That way we'll be reducing the number of people in the street. Now, let me mention again that Ebonyi State is the constitution side. Like I've always said, anywhere you go, you see what's going on, one infrastructure being developed or the other. Who are being engaged to do this? Semi-skilled, skilled and unskilled labor is our people, indigenous and non-indigenous, who are residents. I can remember that last 2 weeks, I was engaged. The governor got me to advertise for what we call a contract supervision of some critical projects. And quite a number of people within and outside the state did apply. They were interviewed, and I'm sure that no less than 30 of them have been engaged as I speak with you. Their takeoff salary started from this August. And these are the things that the governor is doing to ensure that the youths are taken away from the street. Let me tell you that apart from this, the Minister of Human Capital Development, Minister of Agriculture, they are doing quite a lot in engaging the youths and women in meaningful means of livelihood.
Okay, all right. One of the things that, as we try to wrap up now, one of the things that had been always trailed Ebonyi State is communal clashes here and there, and we know that recently the committee set up by the government to look into the film crisis rounded up their sitting. I don't know what exactly happened out of that, and what are the other things that the state government is doing to restore peace, because no matter what the government is doing, all the projects you talk about, you always talk about, if there is no peace in the environment and in the communities, the result will definitely be, washed away.
Yeah, apart from keeping the people busy with empowerment programs and this employment that is ongoing now, government is seriously engaging the stakeholders to ensure that they are held accountable and responsible if there is any problem in their locality. Then the local government chairmen are also held accountable. They are meant to also replicate what the state government is doing by rolling out empowerment programs for the youth and women and ensuring that agriculture is enhanced in the various local communities. Yeah, the report on FIAM was just submitted on the same 13th day of August 2021 at the Executive Council. And the governor has assured that the details will be studied by the Executive Council and approvals made And once approvals are made, he will follow up all the necessary recommendations by the committee. And government of our dear governor also rolled out the sum of 100 billion naira to rehabilitate those that have been affected by the destructions and the crisis in that affected community. And now let me mention that so far so good. I want to report that communal clashes in pockets of places in Ebonyi State have really reduced to the barest minimum. And today we have not even a single case of communal clash. Everybody has come to realize that never again will they go into war. I give it to them that because of the kind of opening in terms of road construction going on in the rural communities, including the 189-kilometer road, the ring road that the governor is doing to connect no less than 8 local government areas. Certainly it is going to trigger agitation for ownership of land, dominion of land. And I think that the governor is on top of the situation to ensure that there is permanent demarcation of boundaries to ensure that this does not occur. Again, now where there is an interstate dispute, as it were, the government gets involved, the National Boundary Commission, and I'm sure they are up and doing a lot to ensure that there is permanent resolution of the problem.
Okay.
When this is done, I assure you that everybody will be perfectly in peace.
All right, that's a fine place to drop it. We appreciate your time and we wish that all the efforts being made by the state government in all the areas you've always mentioned turn out to be productive and successful to restore or bring peace and development to the state. Mr. Uchenna Orji, Commissioner for Information, Ebonyi State, thank you so much for coming. And to you that watched, we appreciate that you did. Let's do it again. Thank you so much for watching.